Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast All Day. Matt, Christy, Alonso.
Hi. It's a big week.
It is a big week. Well, there's one big release and then everybody getting out of that release's way, but there's plenty to talk about nonetheless.
It's Oscar week.
It is
it's
Oscar week.
Hollywood's biggest weekend. We've got Spirit Awards tomorrow.
Mm.
We've got Oscars on Sunday.
Although, do we think the Oscars make a significant dent in the box office? Like,
Did your movies get a boost, you mean?
No. I mean, like, the movies that open on Oscar weekend
see.
suffer because I'll tell you, I went to see Parasite in black and white.
Oh, was it so cool?
It was very cool.
Parasite in black and white, doodah.
But my Lyft driver, when she asked me what she was dropping me off at, I told her. She goes, "Oh," I said, Parasite, that movie. And she goes, "No."
Yeah.
So, it's up for best picture. 0. So I think that we get in this bubble where like, oh, the Oscars, it's a major thing. But I think for a lot of people, they don't care.
We're totally in a bubble. I was talking to my my son's best friend's mom.
Okay.
Nick's best friend's mom, who is also a hockey mom, saying, "You guys going to watch the Oscars?" She's like, "No, probably not." She goes, "I haven't seen any of the movies."
Yeah.
Well, but
really?
and we've talked about this before. The Oscars are less of a thing than they used to be 20, 30 years ago when it was kind of one of the few times a year you would see that level of star power in one place, and everybody did have to watch it. Now, there's between so many different award shows that, and we've used this before, like it feels like this just slog by the time you get to the Oscars.
Sure. Even in a truncated year like this one.
Coupled with all of the social media, like it's just, by the time the Oscars hit, I think people are just kind of burnt out.
There's year-round award season.
Yeah.
Because there's prognosticating happening at Sundance for next year.
Exactly. Anyway. And anyway, that's a whole other topic.
We'll do Oscar picks later on in the show.
Yes. For now, we're going to talk about Birds of Prey or the
and
the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Christy, you're the girl. You described
I am the girl. But I'm also not the comic book expert, so maybe you guys can help me fill this in as I talk about it, because you guys know way more about this character,
okay.
I'm guessing, than I do.
Fair enough.
So this comes 4 years after Suicide Squad, which introduced us to Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She was the Joker's dutiful, violent girlfriend, sidekick, partner in mayhem. And here she gets her emancipation, hence the name. She's been dumped by him at the beginning of the film, and she is just heartbroken about it. But she's still, a playful, gleeful sociopath. So she gets back on her feet, and through a very convoluted MacGuffin-y plot involving a diamond that has been stolen, she meets up with a bunch of other women who similarly happen to be mired in jobs, relationships, circumstances that have held them down for far too long, and they're all unhappy and all unfulfilled, and eventually they come together to become what I guess are in the comic books the Birds of Prey, these various DC characters.
Yes.
So
Birds of Prey has existed under various different sort of formats and lineups over the years. The one that I'm most familiar with is, I guess, the Gail Simone run, where Oracle, who is Barbara Gordon after The Killing Joke, left paralyzed, but now the
Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl,
the former Batgirl, but now paralyzed, the world's greatest hacker, basically using her computer skills to help people like break into things and find stuff, and with a rotating cast of female superheroes.
Right. When Spider-Man's friend in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, like, oh, I've always wanted to be the guy at the computer. Like that's the type of character Oracle that he's referencing. And ssimilar to certain bands like Menudo that would switch people out over the years.
You age out.
In a comic book
Funny.
zone, it would be, the Avengers and X-Men have had various characters over the years, but it's all still supposedly the same band, kind of like Leonard Skinner.
But this is clearly establishing her own franchise, all these characters and their own franchise, and it's a total blast. I had so much fun. Cathy Yan directed this.
Yes.
She had done one feature prior to this, and it's so exciting when you see somebody who has a little indie and they give them a chance to do that, to show, okay, what can you do on this bigger stage with this bigger budget? And it's really ambitious and really playful, and it's got great swagger to it, and it's self-referential, and it's cheeky and incredibly profane and violent and raunchy. But I had so much fun. I would say I feel like it drags a bit in the middle because it comes on so strong off the top, and like the big animated opening that introduces you to Harley's backstory, and Margot Robbie is just like, she's adorable. She's just so compelling and charismatic as she is in every role, but here she really just gets to go for it. And between the hair and the makeup and the costume design, it's a really very fully realized character, and she's very commanding in this. Once you meet all the other characters, and it jumps around in time quite a bit to establish who they are and get their backstories, I feel like it gets slogged down a little bit, but then it's got big splashy action sequences that lead toward the climax. I guess it's the same choreographers as the John Wick people. I read somewhere.
Nice.
I didn't realize that until after I'd filed my review. But one thing I love about this is that Cathy Yan will really let the fight sequences play out. She'll really let you enjoy and revel in the choreography. And it's so clever and so inventive and like almost primal. Like it's not perfectly smooth and balletic except for Black Canary, Jurnee Smollet-Bell, who's incredible as Black Canary. Who knew she had any of that in her? But like Harley's just like taking whatever she can find and is just sort of jamming it at people. And I kind of like the primal survivalistic element of that. I like this. This is fun.
There's a naughty exuberance to this movie. Like I found myself kind of giggling along with it, even when it got bone-crunchingly violent, but it was doing so in a way that was kind of goofy. I liked, I liked the human size of Ewan McGregor as the bad guy.
Oh my God, he's having so much fun with this movie.
Yeah, like he's reveling in it, but he's just like a sadistic mobster. He's not like, Thanos or whatever,
Now, question about his character and Victor Zsasz, played by
Chris
Chris
Messina,
who's almost unrecognizable.
I didn't realize it was him,
Are they together in this movie? Because I definitely got the sense that they are a couple. Like sometimes there's certain looks and certain ways that, especially McGregor acts, that was like
Leonardo DiCaprio and Sam Jackson in Django Unchained.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
But there's definitely like a flamboyant quality to Ewan McGregor as this mob boss.
Yeah, I hadn't
Roman
thought about
Zionist.
that, but I think that's a valid read. You could certainly take it there.
And some of the Birds of Prey are definitely gay.
For sure. Like Renee Montoya, absolutely, and played by Rosie Perez, and her ex is the DA, who's played by oh God, why do people's names fly out of my head when I'm about to say them? She's on American Housewife, and she's had several
Ali
Netflix,
Wong.
Ali Wong, thank you. Several Netflix comedy specials. Ali Wong, and even in the animated bit, we understand that Harley has a relationship with a woman in her past, and
and in some of the
if
comics,
they bring Poison Ivy into these movies, in her
some of the
future.
comics, she's been with Poison Ivy, and then Cassandra Cain, who in the comics goes on to be
the
Batwoman,
new Batgirl.
Has also been Batwoman, I believe.
No, you're thinking of.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I had a great time in this. This is a super fun movie. You're right. It sags in the middle. It's got a tone that made me think a little bit of Deadpool in that it's that light, goofy,
R-rated, but
R-rated,
still wacky.
And self-aware in its structure. It knows it's a movie and it knows that you're watching a movie.
Right.
This is a movie that pays off the Suicide Squad trailer.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely. My two big takeaways, the two things I learned about Harley Quinn and Gotham City are: one, cocaine is Harley's spinach.
Oh.
Right? There's that fight scene where she inhales it and then she really goes
It's
off.
like ding ding.
Right? And then no wonder Gotham needs Batman, because the cops in Gotham are like the Keystone Cops. Like Harley comes in to the police station and wreaks havoc, and they all just kind of run.
Yeah.
Right? Like those are the worst cops in the world.
Well, she throws rainbow smoke and glitter bombs at them. It's distracting.
Right, but it's just like the cops are such beyond a non-entity in this. Like they almost make things worse. Right? And it's and so I had this thought Batman's got a lot of work to do still. Like, no wonder.
There is a segment involving a breakfast sandwich.
Oh, it's so
It's one
good.
of the sexiest
Oh my
things I've
God,
ever
it's
seen in a movie.
so good.
Didn't it make you want one afterwards?
Well, yeah, and playing the Barry White song with it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's very. They should definitely have some sort of marketing tie-in.
Yeah,
with
if
that,
they didn't serve those at the premiere, they did it all
They
wrong.
missed an opportunity. And the fact that she can get so excited about that, she has this really girlish kind of playful enthusiasm, although she's clearly, not going to bat an eye at blowing things up or injuring
right.
people, but that she gets so excited about it. A simple thing makes her so accessible and so adorable.
But the other thing I really liked about this, because I think this gets lost with a lot of the portrayals of Harley Quinn, is that, lest we forget, she had a PhD.
Yeah.
Right.
She was
a psychiatrist.
and so you see
That
her
surfaces every so
right.
often,
That
yeah.
surfaces from time to time, and she reads people really fast and like kind of diagnoses them. And it's like, what? Like that's hard, right? Like she figures them out and sizes them up and kind of like says, oh yeah, well here's your problem. It's this, this, and that. And so it gives her a sense of, I think, intelligence and something behind just all of the shenanigans that I think oftentimes gets left out.
It's her superpower.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
I want to mention Mary Elizabeth Winstead also as Huntress, who doesn't get a ton to do, but she like makes the most out of every scene because this is a movie where, you know, you have somebody, it's the sort of, you know, like Kill Bill kind of classic thing of like, you know, witnessed a horrible murder as a child, was raised by assassins and turned into like this killing machine, and subsequently is a little socially awkward.
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah, she's like, this is like learning how to have girlfriends.
Yes,
and she doesn't really know how to do it. And there is a lot of, you know, female solidarity in this, of course, and they're all like, you know, strong women who eventually learn to team up and look out for each other.
But even reluctantly, right? Because they'll call it out like, oh, this is what we're doing now? Come on, right?
I had a lot of fun with that. Like, I think I love the production design of this movie because it is that Gotham City of like the old comics and the 60s TV show where there are like chemical plants and abandoned amusement parks and like fog shrouded piers around every corner.
in the middle of town.
Yeah, exactly. And like there is a big fight scene that takes place in this very kind of psychedelic fun house that reminded me of, have y'all ever seen Modesty Blaze?
Oh, no.
It's this
Yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
know who the
about.
character is.
It's a 60s movie based on the character, and it is full bore psychedelia. And so I thought, oh yeah,
Right.
I like
It's
this.
amongst the influences on Austin Powers.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
And
that
kind of the color-
Danger Diabolic,
Right.
like that era of movie.
I love the costume design too. I want to mention Aaron Bennick, who
Yes.
who also did like Neon Demon and Drive.
Yeah.
Did the costume design here because it's not just, you know, the iconic Harley Quinn get up, like
Right.
the punk rock chic with the pigtails and the
Right.
and the denim shorts, like everything Ewan McGregor is wearing, like every velvet jewel toned blazer and the
suits.
monogrammed gloves
Or the pajamas.
Right.
Mm,
Everything,
yeah.
everything, and there's a T-shirt that Rosie Perez wears that is so wrong. I don't want to say what it says. It's so funny. So a lot of care was taken into
Yeah.
every character, and then
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Fun.
this is a super fun movie. You know, for a character that was invented for the Batman animated series by Bruce Timm and Paul
Yeah,
Dini
yeah,
in the
yeah.
80s.
She's
Really
coming to
like,
her own,
yeah,
yeah.
it's become one of the more, I think, popular characters especially over the last few years. I think they've done a great job with this movie, and you're right, Christy. Like, it does drag in the middle, but I would absolutely watch another one of these movies
Totally.
with this cast or even spin-offs or whatever. I love the tone. The other thing I want to point out, this is mostly practical, right?
Yeah.
And that gives it kind of an immediacy that, having watched the credits are a lot shorter than you'd think because there's not 20
gajillion digital.
right digital artist credits. And stay.
Yes.
Stay.
It's cute.
Yeah,
It's-
but
it's
stay through the
clever.
credits. There's a terrific Easter egg.
I want to give credit to whoever at Warner Brothers is sort of course correcting the DC movies.
Between this and Wonder Woman, you mean?
Yeah, well, and Aquaman and Shazam, like I think they're
Oh,
really,
yeah.
you know,
They're fun now.
Yeah, and I
Right,
think that
like comic book movies are kind of supposed to be in a lot of cases.
And I think that, like, yeah, we gave them a hard time for being like so gloomy and so preponderous and whatever, so ponderous rather. And I think, yeah, they figured out a way to kind of like tell these stories in a different way, and they aren't just aping what Marvel is doing. Like, they are figuring out their own lane for this stuff. These movies aren't identical to each other. You know, like I enjoyed Wonder Woman, I enjoyed Shazam, I enjoyed this, but they're all very different in
They're
tone.
distinct.
They are
and
different,
outlook, and
And
you
they're
know,
fun and light without being the disaster that Green Lantern was.
For example.
Oh yeah, and Margot Robbie, we can't. I don't think you can say this enough. Like what she does here is so hard.
Oh yeah,
Because it's verbally challenging. It's a lot of like really rapid fire dialogue. It's
Yeah.
very wordy. It's also very demanding physically. And that she keeps showing how versatile she is. I mean, she's nominated for an Oscar this weekend for Bombshell, which could not be more different. And she's got I, Tonya in her. She's got everything in between in her. So she owns this. It's really fun.
I'll even say like Joker, a movie I have problems with, but it's certainly like it's trying something new in the comic book sphere. And so like, whoever, I don't know, I don't follow this stuff that closely. I don't know who their Kevin Feige is, but whoever's doing it is, I think, making a lot of interesting choices, and it's, I think, moving things moving the ship in the right direction.
It's whoever was doing it, 18 months to a year ago, right? I
Obviously,
mean, they've recently, I believe, if they haven't already, they've been trying to bring in, from Lost, Abrams. They've been trying to bring Abrams in to kind of oversee that stuff, but I think again they course corrected. They kind of like after they took it away from Zack Snyder, kind of overseeing all that stuff. I think it's just been a little bit looser, and that's done really well for them.
Yeah. So this movie is a blast. I had a great time.
Okay, cool. I'm saying 7.9.
8.3.
What did I say?
You said 7.5, Matt.
Oh, I'm too low. I'm going to change it to 8.
Oh.
Sorry.
8.3, and 7.9, 6.3. 8.1.
8.1. It is at 84% on the tomato meter. It's really fun. So if you have something you want to see a movie before the Oscars, this is a great choice.
Yeah, this is a fun movie. Go see it.
Or during the Oscars. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And hey, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. That's where we do our TV recaps. Right now, we're making our way through HBO's The Outsider. We've got some other cool stuff lined up for the near future. We do classics that our members pick for us. We need to get that set up for February, actually. And all kinds of other fun stuff. If you've already joined, thank you so much. And if you haven't, patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Thanks. Bye.